All right, folks, this is an unscripted video tutorial on Figma to Kontakt, the UI code implementation generator for Figma, right? So Figma to Kontakt is a plugin that runs under Figma. Figma is free software, also has paid tiers. And for you, all you Kontakt developers out there, you know, whether you're just beginning or you're an expert, Figma to Kontakt is extremely useful as you know, unless you have some fancy other way of implementing your UIs, as you know, as soon as you make a change in your design, of course in Figma, then you can generate the code, copy and paste, and you have your changes updated right away in Kontakt. So of course, questions like, well, but I make my interfaces in Blender, I make my interfaces in Photoshop or Illustrator or on Microsoft Paint. Doesn't matter. You can bring your designs to Figma, and Figma will generate the code for you. In the end, all that matters is that if you generated your assets in Photoshop or Blender or whatever, Houdini, you know, whatever you want, as long as they fit the skeleton in Figma to Kontakt, the plugin will be able to export, generate, and you know, provide you this code for UI implementation. All right, so we're gonna go from the very beginning. There are certain things I'm not gonna cover, but I'm gonna mention. So for coding, I use Sublime Text. Let's get into that. So it'll be Sublime Text. You know, Google it. You find it. It's free. After you install Sublime Text, you will, you know, blank canvas, blank document. On Windows, Control-Shift-P, you get the command palette, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's package control, then install package. You see right there, the very first item. Press enter, wait a little bit, it's gonna download the list of packages. So if you put KSP, I don't think it's gonna show on mine because mine is already installed, but let's see if we put, for instance, list packages. In this case, you will see KSP right here. So Kontakt Script Processor. Okay, so do install this. And what is this for? Well, this is for syntax highlighting and for way many more things than that, right? So, okay. So before we start on the plugin itself, we need a few things. And if you're an intermediate or advanced or expert, you may want to skip this part because it's just the Kontakt setup to get going. Yeah, so this part, let's do this. Okay, so of course, you know, there's some editing going on. All right, so we're gonna do everything in Kontakt 7. I'm, you know, still just playing around with 8, but I want to make this accessible for a lot of people. I'm not gonna use 6. I do like and rely on certain features of 7, right? So okay, so you open Kontakt 7 full version. If you only have Kontakt Player free, that's not going to work. You need the full version in order to develop your instruments. That was you know, for the beginners out there. Double click on the background, just put a whatever name, you want, to your instrument, go to the edit view, click on the little wrench. This you can do in whatever order, but let's do this. I'm gonna save this into my desktop. I'm gonna call it Figma to Kontakt Instrument. Ignore my folders, it's just a mess. And my instrument's right there. All right, save. Okay, so my instrument is saved. As soon as it's saved, you can still in the edit view, go to instrument options, and then we're gonna create a resource container. So you click under instrument, not any of these other ones, but instrument, resource container, create. All right, let's go to the folder where we saved our instrument, Figma to Kontakt Instrument on the desktop. I'm gonna put a name here. So Figma to Kontakt Instrument, just F2K for me. I think it's gonna save NKR. I don't think you need to put the extension. Let's see. Yes, well, it didn't find a folder there. That's fine. You want to create? Yes, I do want to create. Thank you. Okay. Close. So what did it just do? And sorry for the intermediate, experts, advanced people. I need to go through this. Skip this if you don't want. So this is the Figma to Kontakt Instrument folder. It just created these two files. The resources in the data folder. The resources is where we're gonna put our assets, pictures, and scripts. All right, so let's do one more step. So let's see. Right, actually, to do this step, well, we need to write our first script, right? There's multiple ways you can do this, but I do like to create a folder on my project called SRC. SRC is very standard for development in multiple languages for your source code, right? So, okay, we have this source code folder. We're gonna go into Sublime. Let's save this file. I know there's nothing in there. Let's save this here. Good. Where was it? Okay, here. Let's go source folder, and let's call it my instrument.ksp. Okay. All right. So it's saved. So now, one important thing. What are we gonna do? We're gonna link this. Okay, let me do this again. So we go to Edit View, Script Editor. We open the edit, and you don't want to type your code in here because this is very basic. It's not how you code anything. This is just pain, right? So the question is, okay, how can I make code outside of this editor and make the code land in here? Well, because we gonna have this this file in compiled into the resources, into the scripts folder. There will be a script here. In this list, we can read that file from that folder. All right, but there's one step before that. Step is, let's go to GitHub. Let's search for Janeth. I think it's a play with words with the first author name, and there you go. Janeth, Sublime KSP. Great. Now, why am I going here? I could just copy what I need from some other project, but I want you to be able to find the sources of everything that you need. So GitHub, Janeth, Sublime KSP. Great. Then you go here to the wiki. Let me see. Yeah, all the documentation is here. So what you're gonna look for is a Command F or Control F, pragma. So right here. Click on it, and you will see Pragma is, it is possible to control how the compiler operates by using Pragma directives. Great. On the surface it looks like a comment, but it's recognized as a special case by Sublime KSP. Great. So the one that we need, and this is fun because it's one of those things that I set and forget. You know, it's on my template. So now I'm gonna have to look at it from the scratch again. So how the Pragma works. So it says must be formatted as follows. Okay, so we have a comment, curly braces, the keyword Pragma with a hashtag, the name that we're gonna use save compile source, and a value. All right, so let's copy this. Let's drop it here. And then we want save compile source, copy, and the value. Now is the part where lots of people can get confused, but again, you get this right once and Bobby Zaranko, yours all set. So here's what happens. We have our file right here in this instrument folder, right? I mean, sorry, on the source folder. So if you go up, imagine that going up is 2 dots. Okay, I went up. Now we have to go back into resources / scripts and / and put a name. So let's say in this case, I don't know, I just put it like a generic name, slot1.txt. So this is going to be a text file. And just so we have anything in here, let's put on init, right? And as you can see the syntax highlighting. That was a key command I used, but okay, message. So messages in KSP, vanilla KSP are written like this, and then we have this new formatted, it's a sort of formatted string that we can put variables inside, but that's a SKSP feature. Right, so I'm going to save this, and I am going to compile this. So you go to Tools, Sublime, and Compile. Like, oh, I see a message here. It compiled there. Let's see if I got it right. Yeah, I got it right. Great. So this is inside of our project folder, resources, scripts, and this lot is there. Let me see. I like to use this quick look because Windows doesn't have this native functionality. Yeah. So this is your compiled script. Now go back to Kontakt, apply from resources folder, and get your text file from there, and apply. Great. Now we have the basics. We have Kontakt connected to the compiled script, and whenever we change something here, let's say message hello Kontakt, and I save and compile, Sublime KSP, compile. Okay, and then it's like, oh, it changed in here. Yes, but there's one catch. You need this this tool, the creator tools. I have had Complete for so long. I don't remember if creator tools is free or not. Let's see, creator tools, download native instruments. No, this is a manual. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't say, and I'm not gonna spend time on this, but you can assume that probably if you have Kontakt Full, then you will have creator tools. You just go to native access. This is gonna take 500 years to open. Let's see. I'm spicy today, I know. So no updates. So applications, so library applications, and Kontakt 7 is right there. And then where's creator tools? Right there, creator tools. Boom, install it. Okay, So, all right, so quick recap. Download Sublime Text, open Kontakt Full, double click on the background, save your instrument into a folder, your project folder, click on instrument options, create your resource container. In the resource container will basically be the nkr file, nkc, resources and data. Okay, inside of the resources, we're going to have the most important folders, or the folders that you may visit the most. The folder you will visit the most is the pictures. And the scripts is important because we will direct your source code to compile via a pragma directive your code from Sublime KSP syntax or extended language, let's say, into vanilla KSP. Vanilla it means like plain KSP, right? And the plain KSP file is compiled into the resources script folder. Then as soon as we have the text file in there, the compiled file, we can then select it under the apply from in the script editor folder under editing, apply from, resources, slot 1, you apply. Right, but then the question is, oh, okay, so if I make any differences here, like I declared an array of 100 things, and I'm going to use a key command now to save and compile. I'm not going to click on tool Sublime KSP compile every time. I prefer key commands. So we declared it. Sorry, we made this change. We compiled, and how does it magically appear there? Well, because Creator Tools is open and Creator Tools is listening, is observing this text file for any changes. Okay, let's just see if we don't have it open. Let's create our array number 2 and number 3. Let's save and compile. Go back here. Oops, didn't appear. Why? Because Creator Tools is not open. You could hit apply, but imagine, you can save your clicks. You don't have to do that. So, okay, if you open Creator Tools and you make changes and you compile, it won't necessarily apply, but any changes you make after that, save and compile, go back to here. Okay, now we see our array number 4. Okay, the good thing about this is pretty much a set and forget, right? So the setup is done. You save your instrument, and now we're gonna start playing around with Figma to Kontakt, because you're starting your instrument and you want to put your beautiful UI in there. Okay, let's go. So let's go to Figma. In Figma, how do you get to Figma to Kontakt plugin? So you go to the little home, you click on your name, you click on your community profile. I don't know how the free tier is, so it might be slightly different. Then in this case, I'm seeing this here because I made it, but you will see a search on the top. So you put Figma on the top right, Figma to Kontakt, press enter, and then you're gonna see these two files. So pay attention here, because one of them is the plugin and the other is a document. So this is the plugin on the left here with this little black jigsaw puzzle icon, and this is a document. We are going to use both. So if you double click the document, it will instantly, I think, copy the document to your drafts folder. So you click on the home, drafts, and as you can see, I have multiple of it because I used it multiple times. Now let's go back there. So click on your face, your community profile, take a deep breath, then Figma to Kontakt up here, press enter on the search, and oh, wait a second, that's not it. So Figma to Kontakt, And in this case, I'm gonna just press enter here. Okay, right. Now we're gonna click on the plugin. So you click on the plugin, you'll see the plugin page. You click open in. What's gonna happen is, so in this case, recent files, I have one of those, this starter document open already. So let's start there. So it shows, okay, so here's the plugin, you know, little description, and never press save. Let's press save. Plugin saved. Okay, awesome. And then, yeah, here you'll see it on the list. You can click on it, or you can right-click, plugins, Figma to Kontakt, or you can control, or maybe on Mac is a command, /, and I like writing either F2K or Figma to Kontakt, because then I'll see. So the one you see on your side is the one with the little logo. This is development, is, you know, it's my local version, but basically I think that my local version right now is exactly what you're gonna get as of May 12th, 2025. So let's open it. Okay, for now, at the time of this tutorial, little tip for you. It may ask you to create an account. Yes, so you have to, you just click there. It's free. Awesome. I know, sorry, I'm spicy today. I'm very friendly actually. So you put your name in there, and then you're gonna receive a confirmation email, and then you validate your email, and as you validate your email, then you put it here, and there you go. Okay, right. So let's start looking at the plugin. So the first screen you will see is the generated code, right? And the question is, what design is it using to generate this code? So what happens with Figma to Kontakt is that it will read whatever page you have on at the moment, right? So if you don't have a design there with the proper expected syntax, it will just try to generate code, and it will just generate something that is not usable. But if you go in one of these two UI export pages, you will see, and then you press update code, then you'll see it being populated with some data and some actual code. So at first I tried making this vanilla code, and I think for the most part it is vanilla, but I think it still has some Sublime KSP syntax here, like there's a read. The read is not a vanilla thing. Or for instance, not having the type identifier right here on the panel. So assume that this is Sublime KSP syntax, and it will always be. So make peace with that. All right. So what is it? How do I make my designs, and how do I bring this code to Kontakt? Let's start from this, because we have some other things here, and this video today will go over everything. Okay, so first of all, you will need, and actually I'll start a page from scratch. Okay, I'm gonna call it UI export F2K tutorial, and the K can be uppercase. Right, so the first thing for me is, well, I like rulers. Let's put a ruler here for 0, 0, and where's the other 0? Right here. Come on, mouse, you can do it. I know. Okay, now we need a header. So let's go to the components page, Now let's get a header. So what do? We just click on it and option, click and drag. Then you can command cut or control cut, go back to that, paste it. Oh, where is it? Okay. I'm really doing this from scratch. Later you will see that you can use templates, and that's gonna help you. So as you can see, I'm putting this header on top of the 0. So if you look at this y coordinate, it's a -68, because that's how Kontakt works. You know, we have a 68 pixel for our header, and the actual viewport of Kontakt starts at 0 on the top left. All right, I'm not gonna pretend I like this 634 width, so I'm going to get, let's go with 1000. You know, why not? Just go big. Okay, so we have here. Now, what is the first thing we need? Well, we need this thing that is going to be called the panel, our first panel, right? So let's make a panel with 1000 pixels wide. Let's make it, you know, 400 sounds good. And this is our, I'm going to double click here, put panel. I'm going to call it UI and then exp. Okay, so let's see what is this syntax, right? This syntax is basically this naming convention. Let's say it's not even syntax, it's a naming convention, is how Figma to Kontakt will understand what it's reading, because it's scanning. It's gonna scan all of the layers, right? Or in this case we call nodes in Figma, and as it finds these nodes or layers with a particular naming, it will understand that, oh, okay, this is a panel, this is a button, this is a switch, this is a menu, this is a slider, and so on and so forth, right? So since I like organizing almost everything into panels, we start with panels, right? So Figma has, and this is also not a Figma course, so if you don't know Figma, I do recommend, let's see, let's get into here. There's like a Figma Essentials, yeah, YouTube recommendations. Any of these, you know, this guy is probably great. Figma itself, their own channel on YouTube is pretty great. So yeah, you can pick it up pretty quick with sufficient interest in passion, I would say. All right, so our first element here is the panel, and the panel is made with a frame. So I press F and I make a frame, right? So this is our first element. So let's I'm just going to change the color a little bit, and then I like also doing one more thing. So I'm gonna duplicate this frame. So Control D. Oh, Figma has these things. Sometimes it duplicates on the same spot, sometimes it doesn't. So this guy is at coordinates 0, 0. So let's get this to 0, 0 as well. And I'm gonna call the one below UI background. So this is the only one that has a particular syntax, because you will see if I hide this guy, the background, I will put it all the way up to behind the header. Let me lock the header here so we can't select the header anymore. And why is that? Because that's how, when you set your background, let's call Figma to Kontakt here, you see that we have this command right here to set the instrument wallpaper, and the picture will be UI background. So whatever design you do here, you know, and I made it a frame, so if you want to, you know, go crazy with your with the design of your background, let's make this weird or easily to identify, right? This is our background. Then everything is in here. You just press plus on the export. This is, you only have to press once. You know, when you create a new a new node, you have to press plus in order to be able to export it, right? So then you can export the background, and let's go ahead and let's do that. Actually, in order for this tutorial to be very comprehensive and from scratch on almost everything, if not everything, I'm gonna come here. Oh, this folder is empty. Great. Yeah, sorry, because usually my template it has a bunch of stuff in that folder. So let's export the background. And so desktop. Let's go to Figma. Actually, I'm doing one thing here. Let's put this guy in here. Right. Let's go to project folder, resources, pictures, UI background. UI background is an exception on the whole naming convention, right? Because it's a special asset. You know, you just make it once. All right, then for you folks out there asking, oh, but every asset needs a text file. Yes, let's jump a little bit before we get to exporting the code. Let's go UI tools. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to jump. All right, so we exported the UI background. Now we have our panel here, and we have our header. Okay, so how do we make a label? How do we make a button? And how do we make a slider? Right, so I have made some components here for you to start with. You absolutely don't have to use them on your designs, but they can be helpful. So let's see here what we have. Okay, so we have this guy, for instance. Let's get so there's a important distinction, right? These guys are for you to, you know, are examples for you to use on your designs. These guys are the same ones as those on the examples, but these are the ones that will generate the animated assets later. So let's go with the design one. So select it, option, click and drag, cut it, or I think you could just cut it directly. Let's come back here, click on the UI panel. Let's put this guy here. Oh, another thing, lock your background, because you don't want to, you know, click on it every time. Also, this panel right now has a fill, but panels are transparent, so just remove the fill because it makes no sense, right? So panels are basically just containers. So in this case, oh, if things like this happen, you know, you click on your panel, it just moves. Control Z, Command Z. All right. So as you can see here, I keep thinking syntax, but the naming convention is the type, right? So we have type, then we have the name, and in the name you can have pretty much whatever you want. I think you can have symbols. You can I wouldn't put that because that's very confusing. What I use usually is either a camel case, right? Name slider, something like this, or dot. Dot can be a little confusing if you code in object-oriented languages, because you may think that you know, in the end, I think this this separator, this delimiter for token separation is not the best. I think in the future, a long way in the future, I may change it to this, but we'll see, because then we can have names with a, you know, actual snake case if you want. So let's do this, and then minimum and maximum for sliders in particular. If you don't put a value there, right? If you just say slider fader 1, then the exported, let's run Figma to Kontakt, and you'll see the declaration will be the full range, or actually not full range, but default range of Kontakt, which is 0 to 1,000,000. You can do minus 30 million to plus 30 million if you want, as far as I remember. But yeah, this is pretty much the convention because of the controls in or the engine parameters controls. Most of them go from 0 to 1,000,000. So that's how that's why this defaults to this. But let's say you want this to be, you know, maybe you're dealing with MIDI and you want to do 1 to 127. So just changed it there. You just press update code, boom, and it changes here. Right now, all right, we created a slider. So is there more to it? Yes, there's a lot more to it. So let me disconnect this slider from from being a component. So now it's going to be independent. So what is this? All this stuff inside of the slider? We have the settings and we have text settings. So settings is something that these are needed for Figma to Kontakt to understand what is the mouse behavior, the Z layer, the default value of this control, right? So of course we also have here mouse behavior Y and X, because this is for XY pets. Depending, we have font definition, and we have actually I would say the most important one is the PNG that we're going to be using, right? So do I have to care about this? 50% of the time, I would say, because if you make your own components, like this one was a component, right? Let's make it back into a component. So my component already has the definition, some definition. So the mouse behavior, for instance, it's minus 2000. So if you go here to UI tools, UI control settings, you click on it, you will see that it's vertical and it's 2000, meaning vertical will put a minus in front of it. Right now we don't have picture set, but you could and you should, because then it makes things easier. You can start, you know, not doing this, but you know, doing something like this, and you can let's select all of these guys, press Control R, then let's put this name in here. This is another tip from Figma. It's a $N, and you could start on 0 if you wanted. So you're gonna have fader 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now they have unique names. If you go to UI code, update code, and there you go. You see fader 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, the ranges can be whatever you want. So if you want to have minus 1,000 to 1,000, that's fine to put the minus in there. So update code, as you can see. You can do things even, I mean, I don't think this is very useful, but who knows? 0 to 1, you know. All right, so you have your faders there. Now there's one more thing. It's what about the asset, the picture itself, right? So now we're gonna dive into creating the animated assets, and I'm also gonna go over this for buttons as well. So let's go here. In this case, we already have the the asset. I put this as like, nah, I think it was better before. So let's get this guy. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna, let me create another assets tutorial. Okay, so we have a new page. I'm gonna paste that guy here. Now, okay, so in theory, we have exactly the same asset, as in, well, the same layer or component with I'm kind of getting a little confused here, because this is a, let's call it element, right? Because this is an element with things inside. It's not just one thing. I can't call it just one frame. It's this is a frame, in this case a component frame, with a circle and a rectangle inside, right? So as long as you bring that set that has, you know, the same characteristics here, for faders or sliders, right, we need each slider from the template, right? A fader with a handle, vertical and horizontal, a fader that stretches the value, horizontal and vertical. They have different settings inside, as well as the knobs, which we will do in a moment. So what are these settings? And the settings of a fader are, it's just this. You just need to have this settings inside and type equals fader underscore handle underscore V. What is that for? Well, that is for when you, let me check one thing. So what is that for? That is for when you run Figma to Kontakt, go to UI tools, and you go to animation tools, you will see these templates. And then let's put 20 frames. Let's put it separated by 10. I think 10 is way too much, but it's just for the sake of the example. And let's put it, in this case, quick tip. So if you're doing a vertical fader, you may want it to be horizontal. If you're doing a horizontal fader, you may want the frames, the sprites, to be vertical. So then you select your asset or your element, and you go on the one fader handle V. Boom. Then you will create the asset for you. Now, how do we connect this asset to our design right here? There's a really easy way to do that. So you go, I bet you guys are laughing, right? So assets. Okay, thank you. Well, this also needs to be to follow the naming convention. So in this case, let's put slider vertical. That's it. Okay, slider vertical, and please remember we put 20 frames in there. I could copy this guy, come to the tutorial page. Oh, if you click here, you can minimize it, paste it. No, you don't want it in your design. And then you come to UI control settings, you click on them. Oh, click on them. And then I'm going to click assign picture and then click on slider vertical. Because we are changing only the value of this setting here, when we do this, a component will allow you to do that, but components sometimes don't allow you to do certain other changes. So, okay, selected the components, assign picture, wait this to be blue, click it. All right, now when we click this guy, or in this case this guy, you see inside of the settings is slider vertical. You don't need to have the element open, right, to confirm every time. What you can do is you click on it, and Figma to Kontakt will update in here. Sometimes Figma to Kontakt is a little bit buggy. You know, I wrote this 2 years ago. I think it was my first JavaScript more serious project. And there's lots of things that I should rewrite, but because this is a free tool, this is what it is for now. All right, do we need this guy here? No, we don't. But so now that our design knows or has the information of which picture these UI controls have, there's one more step. Well, we need the actual asset in our pictures folder. So I'm going to click on it, export, and throw it in the project resources pictures folder. Save. Great. Now there's one more step. We need text files to indicate, oh, okay, how many frames do we have there? Is it vertical or horizontal? Okay, so we come here to UI tools, text files. In this case, we have 20 frames. This is horizontal. The resizable doesn't really apply here. It could be used, but we are not going to use it here. And then we're going to apply settings. So what applying settings to this did? What it did was in our asset, it put this text settings inside. And in the text settings, it says the orientation, if it's resizable, and the frame count. Right. So then you click outside, click again, and then the download text files button will be active. So you click on it, then go to your project folder, resources, pictures, save it there. So now what do we have there? We have a slider and we have its accompanying text file. Do we need a text file for the UI background? Well, in the end, if you're encoding your instrument, yes. So I'm just gonna copy paste and do UI background. Okay. Oh, and important. Let's open it. We don't have 20 frames in the background. So, and the horizontal animation doesn't matter because it's just one frame. So, okay, and now little tidying up tip. Don't leave this guy here. Why? Because if you run the code generator, it will read the slider vertical from here. See? And then there's some stuff that it doesn't have, so it's going to create some null values in there. Slider vertical, of course. We don't need this guy. Update the code. Okay. All right. Well, how about getting this code finally into Kontakt? How do we do that? Well, we copy the code and we paste it. No, that's not what you do. Okay, why not? Because that's messy, and that's I mean, ideally, not ideally, but what you have to do is to paste that code inside of the init callback, right? So let's do that. Let's paste it. Let's save. Let's compile. Okay, let's look at our instrument. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? We instantly have a UI. Why is this jumping? I have no idea. But probably because we have a limited number of frames. But that's just to make a point, right? Okay, so we have our background and our slider in the folder. We copied the UI implementation code. We pasted into the init callback. We saved and compiled, and now it works. Now, doing what I just did, it's gonna be a major pain in the ass. So I'm gonna tell you a cleaner, more interesting way to do this. I think if we go to View, Sidebar, hide, Control K, Control B. I don't know on Mac. You can check there. Control K, Control B. Oh, okay. So why is that not showing here? Because you have to do this. You have to open folder. Then you go to to your project folder and select folder. Right, so let me close this guy. And then if you have a project open, then you'll be allowed to, you know, hide and view the sidebar. Okay, so then let's open our, oh, look at that, isn't that cute? Okay, so let's put our Figma to Kontakt UI implementation code in here, but we don't want to do this, right? So a cleaner way to do this, and this is Sublime KSP syntax, is let's do F2K UI, or even better, Figma UI KSP. All right, so what does that mean? Let's control or command new. In this case, I'm gonna do this, split the screen. You can figure that out. I'm gonna paste the code in this other file. I'm gonna save it, and guess what name it's gonna have? It's gonna be Figma UI.ksp. All right, now it's saved. I'm just gonna compile. Let's look at our instrument, and it's right there. Let's comment this, comment the wallpaper. Save and compile. Well, the wallpaper is still there. I guess this is, yeah, let's save this. Let's open again. There you go, no wallpaper. Now let's put a wallpaper back. And let's save and compile. There you go, wallpaper is there. Alrighty, next step. So we have faders. Let's how about we think like, oh, wait a second, but these faders, they're way too close, so let's put them 50 pixels apart. And then like, okay, we changed our UI. So you update the code, or if Figma to Kontakt is closed, you just run it again, then you will update the code. You copy the code, it will tell you UI code was copied to the clipboard. Go back there, select it all, select all your implementation code, and just paste over it, overwriting it. Then you have to go back to your main file, save and compile, or just compile. And then when we go to Kontakt, we'll see the update. All right, so now how about some labels? There's a lot to talk about on labels. So for labels, I'm going to create a label from scratch. I'm just going to make it, let's make it 50. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I created a frame, right? So right now it's 22. Okay, let's make it 51 then. All right. So let's use the same naming convention. So it's going to be label fader dot zero. Let's see, this is fader dot zero, right? Okay. Fader dot zero. Okay, so but this is a transparent label. It's not doing anything, Gabe. Well, let's make it do something. So let's put a text inside. Oh, this text is a little big. How about 13? Let's call it. How about close, as in a microphone? Well, remember, this is a frame, right? And your inner element. Let's put its coordinates 0, 0, 0. Now, because our label is 51, let's do this 51. Let's set this to center, and let's set some creative color in here. Something like this, maybe, you know, more contrast. Great. Now, but Gabe, don't we need the settings in it for, you know, Figma to Kontakt to understand that what is the picture of this label? What is there a text? Is there a font? What is that, right? So yeah, so let's click on UI tools. Let's go to UI control settings. And when an element doesn't have any settings in it, you can press one of these that you think is relevant, like for instance Z layer, and it will create the settings inside of the settings frame inside of your UI control element, and it will put all of these placeholders, right? So now in this case our label is going to be transparent, and because this is a very common thing, instead of assigning a picture, we can set transparent picture. As you can see, it shows here label underscore transparent. All right, so let's do that. Let's go to our assets tutorial. I'm going to create a frame. I'm going to make it 100 by 100, and I'm going to make it transparent. And remember, the name of that asset was label transparent. Okay, so let's export this asset. Let's create a text file for it, so it's just one frame. In this case, we're going to make it resizable. Why? Because our text labels, they could be so many different dimensions, so dimension sizes. So we're going to do label transparent as resizable. We're going to apply, click again, download text files, label transparent. Thank you. Now we go back to Figma to Kontakt. Okay, cool. Now, how about, oh, one more detail. For Kontakt, sorry, not Kontakt, but Figma to Kontakt too. Look, I updated the code, right? And right now it says scheme picture, we have multi-line data, but there's one more thing. We can read, Figma to Kontakt can read this text, but you need to call the text node text, right? And why is that? Well, because for it to just identify that you have a text node there, it's possible, but what if you had two? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you have two text, and then it becomes increasingly difficult. So this is easy enough, right? So now if we update the code, you'll see that we have labels text, and it's right here. Now let's bring this guy. Let's duplicate this guy, right? A few times. Let me see, 21. Duplicate. Of course, we don't want the same name for all of them, so I'm going to select them all. Control R, Command R if you're on the Mac. $, capital N. Put a 0 here. Rename. Now we have unique names for these guys. Well, we have unique names. How about we have unique text too? So room, let's say XY, deck, and tree, in case these were microphones. So update the code. All right, let's copy the code. We go back to our code editor, Figma UI. You can Control Alt, Command Alt, or A, right? Paste, save and compile. When I say save and compile, I'm actually using the save all and compile. So I click here, save and compile, and then we click here. Oh, all right. So there's a couple of things here. What is happening? So we're not seeing that font, and we are seeing this weird background. Well, the weird background is because Kontakt needs to reread the pictures folder. So we go to the edit view, script editor, edit our script, and hit apply. And then, oh, it still didn't work. So let's see what's going on. So let's go to UI tools, UI controls, click here. Apparently, the label transparent. So maybe, did I make any mistakes on the maybe on the file? So it says label transparent. That's correct. So maybe my file, maybe there's a typo. Yes, there is. So let's go here. transparent. Let's see this also. Transparent. Okay, now let's come back here. Oh, all right, it just read it. Now we're just left with the font. Okay, so we need the font. So how do we do the font? Okay, so this is a new feature or fresh feature in Kontakt that was just released a week or two ago. So I'm going to copy this guy here. I'm going to, in this case, on the Windows Control-Shift-G, so I'm melting the frame or you know, getting rid of the frame. I'm going to delete the settings. I'm going to get this text node, come here to font generator, and I'm going to generate a font for this, right? So let's do this. So right now this is a Inter 13, this fancy color, generate. All right, we got, let's delete this guy, and we got a font. Okay, so now we have a couple of steps. First of all, we need to assign the font to all of these guys, right? So we select them all. UI control settings, assign font, click here, boom. You click here, your font is assigned. Now, fonts are like picture assets. So we click on the font, we have to export it, export to our project, resources, pictures, save. Then we need a text file. So go to text files, just one frame, not resizable, apply settings, click here, oh, what happened? Right, so Figma to Kontakt sometimes is feisty, so click around a little bit, and you know that your text settings is inside your asset, so you get it. All right, now what do we have to do? We have to update the code again because we just set these the new settings for the font. So let's update the code, and as you can see here, font file right here. Copy the code, select all, paste, save, compile. All right, are we gonna see the font? Oh, actually, we're seeing it. Cool. I thought we were going to, you know, reload, but in case of fonts, it seems like it just looks for it. Okay, this font is slightly cropped, so what do we do here? I'm gonna, let's see, we have 8 pixels of distance, so I'm gonna add 8 pixels here, so that would be 59, but of course I'm only adding to the right, so I'm gonna bring these guys back by 4 pixels, half of 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna press enter, tab, and remember this is 59, and we want the text to be centered. If I didn't do it, the text would still be centered in Kontakt because Kontakt doesn't know that this inner element of the label is not centered. But you know, for us to see our design correctly and centered, I think it's important to keep things tidy, right? So now that our labels are not 51, they're 59. Let's update the code, copy the code, then you wait a little bit. Paste, save and compile, and there you go. So we have custom fonts in Kontakt. Fantastic, right? I know this is really strange. I don't know what's happening. Oh yeah, I absolutely know what's happening. Actually, remember that we had this fader number 3. It's 0 or 1. That's why if you let it go here a little over half, it will land there. And then we have a minus 1000 to 1000, we have 1 to 127, and we have 0 to 1,000,000. Okay, what is the next step? We covered sliders, we covered labels with fonts. Let's cover buttons. Right, so buttons, I'm going to start from the components, and then we're gonna create one from scratch. So buttons, right now we have these. For instance, let's say we want a button that is a switch. It's the simplest one, or even a radio one. And then you say, oh yeah, cool, let's get these guys, let's put them into our design. So click on panel and collapse this font because it's just taking too much of our list. And let's create 3 of them. Again, syntax is the same, just switch or button. The name, let's put super creative, let's put switch as well. And a number, right? Of course, I hope you have a really good plan for the naming. It's very important, you know, to have good naming. In this case, let's call this one button radio dot $, capital N, and then we get 012. Alrighty, what happens if we update the code? We get them in there, and then we paste the code and we save and compile. We're gonna get anything in there? What's going on? Let's see. I don't think I pasted correctly, so let's see. And why am I leaving these sort of mistakes in the video? Because you are going to make a lot of mistakes and you're going to be scratching your head. What is this happening? For instance, was it declared? Oh yes, it's declared. Did I copy it? I did. Did I paste it? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. So I'm gonna make sure I paste it. So save and compile. Go back here. Awesome. They are here. But of course, we need the assets. Now, you may know or not, Kontakt buttons and switches, they have only 6 frames, right? So in this case, I'm going to do a little magic here. You just go to UI tools, animation tools, and because this is a component for a button or a switch, I'm going to, because this is a component, I'm going to click on create from variant. And now I created the assets for us, right? This is extremely useful. So let's call it switch, switch, because it's we are super creative with the names here. And this is a button radio in this case, right? So these were just copies, we don't need them. Now we need to assign the pictures, right? So I selected the switches. I'm going to go UI control settings, assign picture. As soon as I see that the hover is correct, I click on it. Now I can click Figma to Kontakt being feisty. Click on something else, and then switch. So the picture is assigned. Let's do that for the radio. Assign picture. Click here. And the picture is assigned. Alright, so let's export our picture. So export 2 layers, project, resources, pictures, save. We need the text files. So these are, in this case I think I had the text, let's see, no I didn't. I don't know how it knew that it was 6. Okay, so it's 6 and it's actually vertical. You just saw a little other but you know, make sure it's vertical. Apply settings. Let's click on them. Now there's this one little thing. If you click on 2 of them and you download, I don't think it will work. I had a code to make it work with downloading zip files, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So you know, just click one, click download text files. All right, what's going on? So close it, open again, UI. All right, click here, settings are correct, download. See, then it works. Then just press enter, click on the other one, download text, press enter, done. Now what do we do with our assets? We place them, you know, organized in an organized way somewhere, right? In this case, in our assets tutorial. Why do we do this? Because when you have a large project, you have everything organized in just one page. All right, now that we have our assets, let's go to Kontakt. And oh, but we need to generate code again because we declare the buttons, but we don't have the information on the pictures. So copy code. Let's go replace and there you go. Lovely, no? Yeah, I know. I also love it. Okay, now how do we create a button from scratch? Let's do that. So buttons need buttons and switches. They need to have 6 states, right? All right. So let's make some buttons from scratch. So first of all, we need to know the states. So buttons are they have 6 states. So we're gonna have off and on. Then you have off pressed and on pressed. Then you have off hover and on hover. Right. So how does that work? Well, first of all, I would recommend you doing this. Create 6 frames. You know, right now just roughly the size of the button that you want. Select them, rename them to 1 through 6. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to start designing that's okay, but one thing you have to remember is that this frame, it will be the encasing of the component variant, right? So whatever settings you have here, if you have fills and strokes, all of these will be deleted, right? So don't rely on this external frame. So what I like to do is just create the component set, right? And you'll see that they are here. I know it's a little bit confusing, but let's do this. Let's put a rectangle inside of each one of them. So they are 196 by 47. I know, weird number. But let's put on right coordinates. 196 by 47, and let's use that because it's not always that our buttons are perfectly numbered, you know, like pretty numbers. Right, so I'm selecting them all, and I'm gonna paste the rectangle inside. Now, so if this is the off, as you can see, you can see up here. So this is enabled and off. Then this is the on. This is the press off, press on, hover off, hover on. Okay, so let's make it off. So actually, first thing I'm going to do is select them all, press enter, get to the rectangles, make them all white. So this guy I'm going to make white 20. This is on, so I'm going to make it white. Sorry, it's the rectangle, not the encasing thing. White 75. I'm going to make this the hover here. So remember, this was 20. I'm going to go with 40, I think. 40 is good enough. And then for our hover, I'm going to do 88. This guy I'm going to keep at 100. And this guy was 40. Let's go 55. Okay, right, and I would like to have text inside our buttons, so let's do that. Let's put a text. Let's you do have to write something, so let's write text. The good thing about writing text is that our text layer is called text, which is a requirement in Figma to Kontakt for it to understand the text inside of the button. So let's do that. Let's make it use the whole area. Right now we have it in the middle here, align to the middle and align center. I'm going to make it invisible. It's still going to be red. I'm going to copy the text and I'm going to paste. I'm shift clicking, pasting all of them. Why? Because then all of our buttons, well, actually, they do need the text. Yeah, they do need the text. There's one more thing we need. We need settings, but for the settings to happen, let's make the actual asset first. So we bring a copy of the variant here, so an instance of the component. We click on from variant. Let's call it button text. So it's a button that we can write multiple different kinds of texts. Let's export this. Export button text. Now let's create a text file for our asset. So this is 6 frames, is horizontal, apply, click outside, click back, button text, download the text. Okay, now again, these are assets, right? So let's get one of these because we're going to put in the design, and let's get the rest of it and put into the tutorial. Okay, let's go back here, design, right? And how is this going to be called? Let's call it button overdrive, for instance. And let's call it button mono. Now, because we already have our asset exported, we can come back into the text and make it visible again, right? And now an important thing. Are we gonna see this custom font inside of the inside of our buttons? Yeah, but we need to create this custom font, right? So let's call this overdrive, and let's call this mono. All right, let's create the, so the buttons have the text layer inside. We have the text in there. We're gonna UI code, update the code. Oh, okay. So as you can see, the code has these nulls inside. And what does that mean? Well, it means that these guys don't have any settings inside of them. So one thing we cannot do is modify components, component instances. So we're gonna work on the component itself, right? So we're gonna select the variants. You can select one and control all, or right to select them all. Come to UI tools, UI control settings, and we're gonna assign a picture to it. So assign picture, and the picture is this guy. Now all of our components, component variants have the settings inside. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the tutorial page, the design page. And as you can see, because they're components, they all have now the settings with the correct picture. So let's go back to UI code, update the code. We got rid of the nulls. Copy code. Let's copy the code, paste, save, and compile. All right, really cool. We have buttons, and the states are working, on and off, pressed again. See, now I just have to take care of the font. Okay, this one is going to be an interesting one because oh, so this is the first time this error is showing, but you're going to see these kinds of errors all the time. Whenever I have time, I'll fix them. So let's copy one of the buttons. Let's detach the instance. In this case, it was something like this, a detach instance. And then I'm going to get rid of the frame. I'm going to get rid of the rectangle and the settings, because all that I want is this font, right? So I have the text node here. I'm going to go to UI settings, or UI tools, sorry. Right here we are not seeing anything, so font generator, let's generate this. Alright, pretty strange font, never used it, so let's see what we can do with it. Now there will be some details, very interesting, important details that I never told anybody, but I have been doing for a while. So I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna select these two because they have settings already, because they have the whole structure. Changing the name here that will set the font is not gonna be a problem. So we select them both, assign font, click here, let's see. Okay, font is assigned. Now remember, you have to export the font. Okay, you have to create a text file for it. It's not vertical. I guess it doesn't matter because it's just one frame. Apply settings. Let's go there. Let's see if it applied the settings. Yeah, it applied. So it's, if it's not showing, because Figma to Kontakt is being feisty. Okay, download text files. Save the text file. Alright, generate the code again. We exported the font, we created the text files. So now update the code, copy the code, and paste, save and compile. Ooh, very cool. We got the font. Now there's one more detail, which is the vertical alignment. So there's a couple of ways to make this work properly. One is you could make the font with a vertical offset, or, which I prefer the other version, is you come here, when you click on the text node is basically the size of the button, right? So in this case, I'm gonna have to cut pixels here, and it kind of sucks because it's a lot, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, almost 20 pixels, so 19 pixels. In our font, let's see, on this capital E, what is the distance? Well, actually, maybe I was not very smart, I'm sorry. I don't think this is capital E. Let me see. This looks like a... Yeah, this is not capital. Capital would be this. Okay, so let's look at the lowercase. So lowercase e, it would be roughly 18 pixels. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, oh, it's a 19 pixels. So the difference between these two is 11 pixels. Now, if the difference is 11 pixels, how do we tell Figma to Kontakt that we have an offset of 11 pixels? Well, in this case, because it's a component, I'm gonna have to work on the component. So you click here, main component, go to the main component. Let's make the text appear. So select them all, press enter, tab, we got the text. Let's do this, let's put it black. Alright, so we do have offset of 11 pixels. How do we change that? So I'm pressing Alt and bringing the, changing the height. As you can see there on the right, you see the height going from 47 to 25. Okay, and luckily in this case the text didn't change its position, but let's say if I did this, of course it would. Now this offset will be read by Figma to Kontakt. So let's look if the offset is in there. So if we click on the text, you can see that there's an offset now. Before it was the, covering the whole area here. And let's UI code, update code, copy code. Go back here, paste, save and compile. Alrighty, there you go. Okay, so this covers almost all of it. Let's see. We do have, you know, Z layer, for instance. Let's say we want Z layer 1. You know, if you look in here, you'll see that the Z layer is not set, right? But select the button, right? Select the button. Z layer, put 1, press set Z layer. Z layer is set. So, and this will translate into these setup arrays or settings arrays. What else? What else could we talk about? Remember, this is unscripted. So we covered font generation, text files. We covered all of these. Copy names. Okay, so copy names is this. Let's say you need to type all of these names, and then you press copy names. You select them all. Press copy names. Go here. Command V. Okay. Oh, one thing. When you copy it, remember that this is the name of your asset, your UI control on the code, not these things. These things, they are deleted, as you can see here, right? Actually, here on these guys, they end up down here. So, okay, I guess one more thing that people would like to see is like, okay, we saw some juicy knobs. How do we create those? Pretty much the same way that we created the sliders, right? But let's go over that once. So first we use these knobs on our design, right? Let's get one of these, this, and this one. Okay, I'm copying, paste it here, got to put it here. Right, now these ones are components, but let's see, do they have the information I need inside? They have a settings, they have PNG and font. Okay, but their PNG is not set. Well, font is not going to be used for anything, but we do need the PNG. Oh, and this one doesn't have a PNG. Okay, it's good. I mean, it doesn't even have a settings. So let me do this. Let's copy. I'm gonna copy this settings. I'll see if I can paste it inside of this guy. Or does this guy have it? No. Ooh, that's not fun. Okay, let's get the settings. Let's see, does this guy have settings? No. Okay, this one. Nope. Nope. And no. Okay, so none of these have those settings. Let's paste inside of them. Okay, great. Now we can set pictures for these guys, right? So how do we do that? Well, first we need to create the pictures. So let's create the pictures. That's the most fun part. Creating the pictures is not with these guys, remember? It's with these templates. It says elements to generate animations, sprite sheets. Okay, so we got one of each from these, and we got this guy. Actually, let's do the full circle. Let's get these guys too. Let's selected the UI panel there, and let's put these guys in here. Yeah, around here is fine. Okay, doesn't have to be super perfect. Okay, now remember these are not super how do you say, super well planned. It's more for, you know, illustrations, so the components still have some problems in there, but you know, for most design purposes it's I mean for this illustration purpose it's fine. Okay, so we have the elements here. Remember, first things first. So this is a slider, right? So slider, I'm renaming with the same name for everybody, but now let's see. This is, I'm gonna call it width dot marker, because this is a width slider, and because it opens you know, left and right at the same time. This is a pen dot marker, and marker because it has a marker there, and this is unipolar dot marker. Actually, the pen is bipolar, right? But most people will think, oh, okay, pen. So this is unipolar. Let's call it stretch. This is pen stretch, and this is width. Stretch. Okay, so the goal here was to put unique names for them. All right, let's create the assets. So in under components, we're gonna get one of each. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna come in our assets tutorial page, I'll paste them here. I'll put these guys down here. And this is the most fun part of all. We're gonna come to UI tools and animation tools. And how about we make these guys with, let's say 64 frames. The distance, you know, you may need this, you may not. Let's do them all horizontal. So we're gonna click on one of them, find it here, so that's unipolar marker. Then you do this, bipolar. Oh, okay, this one didn't work. Let's see why. And bipolar. Oh, actually, let me see. Bipolar pen. Yeah. I don't know if there was anything wrong there. Oh, okay. In this case, there's a bit of a mistake there. I'm gonna fix it later. You will see what's going on. Let's bipolar width. So as you can see, these guys are created. This little mistake here might have to, I may have to fix it in the document. Maybe when you're watching this mistake is not even there anymore. Let's make the unipolar. Let's make the bipolar. Let's make the width. Okay, so right now, here's our assets, right? So because we need this correct, I'm gonna have to create this guy again. And this is actually important that this mistake happened, because you of course may not want to use these designs, and I encourage you to not use these designs because they are just for prototyping. You know, so when you're making your own designs, it's like, oh, okay, so how can I make my own design and still use this knob creation tool? Well, as long as you use the same structure in here and you preserve the settings depending on the type you're using, you're going to be fine. So let's see. In this guy, for instance, I think I changed the code on the inner marker frame, and as you can see, we have, yeah, you see you have 4 5 5 5. Yeah, that wouldn't work. So let's make, this is what, 32 by 32. Let's make it, let's put it at 0 0. Let's make it 32 by 32. And then of course the marker inside, it has to be somehow in the middle, or at least the left and right has to be in the middle. We can, I'm gonna make this one a little different so you can see that you can have let's see, so it's 32, right? So this guy could go all the way to, I would say, you know, even one more, maybe 16, right? Because we're covering 16. Now let's create this guy. So it's bipolar pan, and as you can see, it works, right? Now let's name these guys. They are all sliders. All right, so let's name them like this, slider. Now This is gonna be unipolar marker. This is bipolar or pan marker, and this is width up marker dot marker. Okay, let's do that. So this unipolar dot stretch, bipolar dot stretch, and what is this? Width dot stretch. Okay, now let's export these guys. Select them all, export all layers, correct folder. All right, let's create the text file. So there are 64 frames. So let's select them all. 64 frames. This is horizontal. Apply. Click outside. Get one of them. Download. Next one. Download. Next one. Download. Next one. Download. And just one more. Okay, now there's just one more step that we have to do. These assets are kind of big for me to copy there, and so one thing I like to do is I get a tiny, I was gonna say a tiny frame, like 100 by 100, and I can put it here, and then you copy it a few times. Get these names. That's quick and easy. Then you bring these guys there. Why is that? Because you don't need the actual asset, you just need the names, right, of the pictures. So of course we need to see the names, which is another problem in itself. But let's do this. So let's stretch. That's interesting, Figma. Do that, then funny. This new rendition of Figma sometimes is not, the tidy up command is not working. Let's see now if I do, how about I do this? Still not working. And I don't remember where the command is because they just changed the whole interface. Let's see. Tidy up. Thank you. Okay, so now I can see it. Let's go to UI tools, animation UI control settings. Let's get this guy. This guy is the marker. So unipolar marker. Assign picture, unipolar marker. This is the bipolar marker. This is the width marker. This is the stretch unipolar or unipolar stretch, bipolar stretch, and width. Okay, now I can get rid of these guys. Alrighty, so we exported the text files, we exported the assets themselves, we assigned the pictures. Let's update the code. We don't have any nulls. Copy code, paste, save and compile. Beautiful. Oh. Okay, so there's a couple more things to do. Funny enough, this guy is working. Okay, so yeah, one more thing. You want probably all of these guys to have a mouse behavior vertical. So let's put vertical. I like, not so fast. So set mouse behavior. You want to know if the mouse behavior works. Just click on here. Maybe it didn't. Oh, all right. One more thing for us to learn. Okay, so if you if for any reason you forgot that you needed that kind of setting in there, because this is a component, when you click set mouse behavior, it changes the text on an existing layer here. But if the layer doesn't exist because it's a component, it's not going to create it. So we have to go to the main component and we have to do that in there. So let's do that. Let's set all of these guys, set mouse behavior actually to 1000. Let's see. Okay, now it's set. And again, maybe I'll change this default document for you. Maybe I'll not change, just so you can do it yourself and you know, get some practice. Right, so now that that's set, let's UI code, update, copy code, paste, save and compile. Now, yeah, it's still not applied. Weird. Let's see, what did I miss? Maybe, let's see here. So it says vertical. Here, if you want to see if it's oh, this guy didn't get the settings. Okay, so I thought when I pasted, when I set these guys, I thought I set all of them. Let's see. Oh, is it because it's locked? Maybe. Let's see. Or because it will not create it. So let's see, set all selected. Also no. Okay, so in this case what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put this guy here. I'm going to detach this instance. I'm going to set the mouse behavior. Oh, okay. I remember now. Yeah, this is another important one. So, components have these long, weird names, right? And for Figma to Kontakt to set the settings on an element, it needs the syntax to be there. It needs to be slider, knob, for instance. So in this case, what we have to do when you already have components and you have to change their settings because you know these are not changed, what you do is you click here, you put your settings in, right? And you get these settings now that are set. You copy them, you go back there, you can pretty much delete all of, yeah, see, don't do that in bulk because you may regret it. Yeah, of course, if you are organized and all of the layers are in the same order, you don't have to waste time like I'm wasting right now. But it's important to see these things happening, so you learn and you make better decisions when you are making your own designs. Alright, so I deleted the settings on all of these guys, and now I'm gonna paste them again. Now, one more thing you could do, and I recommend you doing it, is on your own projects, you can put the picture already on your components. Okay, so let's do that. Now let's come back here. So I'm gonna name this section troubleshooting. So let's set the mouse behavior to 1000. Now let's click on something else. Let's go back to it. Actually, let's click on this guy. So you see it's a 2000. Now this is 1000 in vertical. That confirms that this is correctly set. So we update the code, we copy the code, and save and compile. Oh, interesting. Okay, yes. Another thing, I overwrote the PNG setting. Okay, so now I'm gonna be very lazy. I'm just gonna do this. Copy, come here. It's kind of ugly, but I'll do it. Seriously? Okay, put it here. Actually, this kind of easier to see. right? Let's do it like this. Get this guy, UI tools, assign picture, this guy. Boom, assign picture, this guy. Boom. 2000 years later. Done. Ha. Done. Okay. Update the code. Copy the code. Wait. It was still running some other messages. Interesting. Okay. Oh, we're missing one. Guess I didn't do this one correctly. This is gonna happen to you too. So let's do it. Let's go assets. In this case, I'm gonna do it manually. I'm gonna get the name of this guy, copy, come here. Press enter, go in the PNG. Never do this. Don't do this at home, folks. And update the code, copy. Okay, save and compile. There you go. Now we can go up and down, up and down, up and down. Look, you can play around with the number of frames, you know, if you don't like this, if you don't like how it's going. But there you go. This is Figma to Kontakt. Actually, there you go. Nothing. Let's do one more thing that is one of the most interesting things about Figma to Kontakt is like you look at this and say like, well, I don't know this design, you know, I'm not sure if it's exactly what I wanted. I think I wanted things to be more like this, more like that, which, you know, it will happen 50,000 times during your development phase. So how about I put this button here, I put this button here, I actually want this guy here. I think a mixer altogether is no fun, so I'm just going to destroy it, put it down here, put this guy here. Let's you know, make like a new concept and do something like this. Let's make a Mickey Mouse here. Yeah, woo, super fun. Okay, let's put some you know, you have some ears. All right, I love this. Now let's update the code, copy the code. Code was copied. Come here, copy paste, save, and compile. There you go. There you go. Your design, your new beautiful design is right there. Then, of course, somebody with some sensibility in your company comes back and says, "What the hell did you do? Are you crazy?" He says, "Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. I'm gonna try to get it from a backup. No. Actually, I like it this way. All right. So then, update the code, copy the code. This is your art, right? And save and compile, and there you go. That's Figma to Kontakt, folks. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Contact with C's, okay, the word in English, contact@figmatokontakt.com, or go on the Discord server for Kontakt development. There is a dedicated Figma to Kontakt channel there. And I hope you liked this. I hope this was useful. Please keep in touch, or, you know, make some contact. No pun intended. And let's go from there. That's it. See you later.